hosts, Ben Eastman and Jeff Crenshaw. Let's rock.
You're listening to Rock and Roll Specialists. And this is the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm Ben Eastman.
Yeah.
And that's Yeah.
And I'm Jeff Crenshaw.
Oh, I thought your name was Yeah.
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 You sound like, who do you sound like? The rent is too damn high.
Yeah.
You know,
I actually sound like that dude from Trading Places who Eddie Murphy meets in jail and all he could do is say, yeah.
oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. It's the most wonderful time of the year. With kids jingle belling and everyone telling you'll be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. Oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and our hearts will be glowing with love and good cheer.
Oh, shit.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Might be our best rendition.
There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories
and tales of the glories
of Christmases long, long ago. Oh, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Ding dong, marshmallows are towing and the hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I'm Jeff Crenshaw and this has been Eastman.
Wow, Andy Williams, eat your heart out.
Andrew. Hey, let's go better him on another one of his hits. Moon River, wider than a mile. What?
We're both breaking a sweat.
Maybe you should go back to the old name. We're heavy set go, and we have no dignity.
What kind of rock and roll specialists break a sweat during an Andy Williams song?
Hey, James Brown would do it. You know, I heard a story. Someone was talking, like Johnny Cash was about to go on stage, and some other musician, I forgot who it was, someone just pounded beer right before he went on stage. He's like, Johnny, why are you doing that? Why are you drinking beer before you go perform? And he looks at the guy and he says, boy, they love it when they see you sweat. Because when you sweat, it's evidence of the intensity and effort and heart you're putting into a performance. So the fact we're sweating proves that we're true showmen.
Well, what if we ate pizza before? We got like pizza sweats.
No, that's just pathetic.
Okay, yeah.
Get off the stage, you fat asses!
Pizza sweats are a real thing, though.
Like,
I used to not think that until, I don't know, now that I'm older, pizza sweats are real.
They are real. But you know, a place I never get pizza sweats?
What?
My favorite pizza restaurant, Giovanni's on Hall Boulevard in Beaverton.
Wow. Brought to you by Giovanni's, Hall Boulevard in Beaverton.
But that's actually not a paid spot.
Where everybody knows your name. Oh, that's not cheers.
Giovanni's
is pretty good.
It is.
I dig it.
I fucking love it. My favorite pizza in the world is the Giovanni Special. I don't even remember everything that's on it, but it's not like they use ingredients that other stores don't have. But somehow they put them together in a way. I think they they go for like the highest quality ingredients that they can find. I think that's part of it. They get the sausage, it's like the special. It's like, let me see if I remember. I won't get everything. It's like sausage, salami, a few other red Italian meats. I think mushrooms on there and olive.
Mushroom, olive. And one of my favorite parts about it actually is because they give like the banana peppers or the pepperoncinis.
The pepperoncinis.
And then you can kind of bite it and then squirt the juice.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I do. I like doing that.
And
Good.
this isn't actually the first time I've talked about Giovanni's on the podcast. Because we talked about it like the third episode. And the first night we did 3 episodes and back when Alan Burrell was part of the show. Mm-hmm. It was the episode 3 of this podcast, which was then called Heavy as a Ghost. Now, Rock and Roll Specialists. Get used to it. But the third episode was all about pizza. And we spent like hours talking about our favorite pizzas. Oh. But one thing I hadn't discovered yet then.
I could talk about pizza for days.
Me too, man. What I hadn't discovered yet then at Giovanni's, I only discovered this a few months ago when you and I went with Chris and your lady love, Elisheva. Mm-hmm.
Shout out, homegirl.
Word is bond. Yo.
Peace, love.
Yo. Just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Anyway, what I discovered was the margarita pizza at Giovanni's.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure it's like a cheese pizza, but made even better. Because there's like tiny bits of tomato on there, which is fine. But what I think makes the pizza is they have like basil leaves that they rest on top of the cheese, and when they cook it, like oil and flavors from the basil gets into the cheese.
Yeah, you get kind of like the tomato sauce as chunks of tomatoes in it. Mm. You got the mozzarella, the fresh mozzarella.
The mozzarella.
And then you got the basil, and it's good. I don't ever like think to like, okay, I'm gonna get that, but it's like pizza in its purest form. It's cheese, it's tomato sauce, it's dough, and it just tastes so fresh.
And it was kind of a last minute decision to get that, because when I went in there, I was intending to get the Giovanni Special and their Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm getting a Hawaiian pizza, I'm like, fine. I don't hate Hawaiian pizza. I'm not like one who will murder someone over pineapple on pizza, but I always kind of roll my eyes a little bit. But at Giovanni's, it's like they have fresh pineapple, nothing out of a can, nothing out of like a shipment bag that they have to cut open. It's like it tastes like it's fresh, and the thick cuts of ham. Oh my god!
Hey, but speaking of Hawaiian pizza, we just took you to finally go try ranch pizza.
And I liked that Hawaiian pizza too.
Off North Decom in Portland. Also next to another great restaurant we love, Tamale Boy.
Tamale Boy.
But ranch pizza I had a long time ago. I was at an event where I had actually won a gift card, so I checked them out, and they have, it's like Detroit style, so it's heavy on the sauce, light on the cheese actually, but it's kind of a thicker kind of, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it deep dish, but it's a pan pizza though, you know.
It's not what you think of, it's not like what you think of necessarily when you think pizza.
Yeah.
It's not the first image that comes to your head. It's kind of, it's like the Wendy's of pizza, because it's square,
yeah, and
then like they cut it into subsequent squares, so there's like 9 squares per square pizza.
Yeah, but it ain't no fast food.
No.
But they have a Hawaiian there that I got, which is good because instead of the Canadian bacon, they sub in spiced ham by the name of Spam on there, and it's good. It's super like salty and good. And what was that other one we got? Was killer there.
It was my favorite. It was the number 4, and that's
literally what they called it too.
Yeah.
It's called the number 4.
They have very good it's a good sausage.
Yeah.
It's like this kind of mildly spicy. It's not spicy in the sense that you'll be crying for mama. Well, some people are, but some people are pussies. But I think to the normal palate, it's like you could feel the heat, but it's not a heat that will bring you to your knees. It's not like the Blazing Challenge at fucking Buffalo or something.
Yeah, it's a good heat.
It's a mild, tingly heat, and what's genius about it? I hesitate using that word because it sounds pretentious as fuck when you're talking about restaurants, but I think what's genius about it is that it's cut into 9 pieces, right? And in the center of each square, they have this perfect circle. Each one the same size of cheese. What kind of cheese is it?
Goat cheese, I think.
I don't think it's not goat cheese.
Not goat cheese.
It's like the cheese that you get in lasagna.
Ricotta. Ricotta, yeah,
That's
like lasagna. Because it's a very mild cheese.
It is.
It's creamy. Yeah.
And it's brilliant what they do it like that because you get enough of the heat, but if you keep eating that kind of mild spice, it would build up in your mouth. The ricotta cheese in the center acts as kind of a fire hydrant to your mouth. You take a bite, you get this like delicious texture, but it also kind of puts out this flame a little bit as you're eating it.
Yeah.
So you get the spice that you want, but it doesn't overwhelm you, and it's an overall pleasant experience.
Do we have a drool bucket somewhere? Because I'm like thinking we gotta go soon.
Oh fuck yeah!
that was so good. Wow.
Fuck, dude. Before we get to like, I don't want to like get off to another topic, but before like extra cheese is $2. Let's pay some respects, man. Danny Aiello.
Oh, Sal, man,
from Do the Right Thing.
Rest in peace, man.
He was. I don't want to give too much away, but there's Do the Right Thing is probably I'm not going to say it's the best movie from the 80s because I love a shit ton of 80s movies. And I probably personally like other movies more than Do the Right Thing, but it's the most important movie from the 1980s.
I think that is a some people would probably argue it, but I think that's a pretty good statement. Yeah. I mean, it's very important. It's very like of its time, but very real, and very kind of slice of life. And I think kind of before that came out, you really didn't see a lot of films really like giving that kind of voice to those kinds of people.
No, it's before that, like black communities had like the blaxploitation movies. They had
Foxy Brown,
and those kind
are
of
great.
Cathartic expression, standing up against the man. But I don't know, and honestly, I'm not like a black cinema historian by any means, so I could be full of bullshit. But I feel like when Spike Lee came along with these, like She's Gotta Have It, and then there was like School Days, and then there was Do the Right Thing. I think he came at it from a less escapist position, and more of he was holding up a mirror to like his community for people outside of the community to see what it was like. And then later on you'd get people like John Singleton, who God, this year's been brutal. He died himself earlier this year.
Wow.
Boys in the Hood, also one of the greatest fucking movies I've ever seen. But the guy who just died recently, Danny Aiello, I think.
Yeah, great actor.
He was
great character actor.
He was Sal in Do the Right Thing, and he's kind of Ben and I were talking about this. He is kind of the core of the movie. Mm-hmm. In a way, he has, you can see hints of like, I guess, bigotry in the character, but he seems like the kind of guy who's trying to overcome it. And maybe I'm misinterpreting what Spike Lee's intentions are, but he seems like a good guy with hints of bigotry that unfortunately his sons, like John Turturro especially,
press the pedal to the metal on.
Yeah, he inherits these trace amounts, and then that's kind of the side he chooses to emulate. And there's another brother who's like I think each of his sons in that movie, like each like choose a different side of his personality to cling to and emulate. Because the one that's played by the dude that stole the car in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, I don't know that actor's name.
Neither do I.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, that is the same guy for sure.
But that dude is like a sweet, gentle-natured dude, and fucking John Turturro
is the opposite of that. Yeah.
He's a fucking monster.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And there's a scene where Spike Lee who plays Mookie in the film, and Turturro are talking. Notice how we're paying tribute to Aiello and we're talking about everything else in the movie. Spike Lee and Turturro are having a conversation, and he's like, "Well, you claim to hate N-words." I'm not going to say that word. No, not worth it. But all your favorite people are he's like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Michael Jackson's your favorite singer." He's like, "No, Bruce Springsteen." It's like, "Oh yeah, well, who's your favorite actor?" "Eddie Murphy." And then, how can you say these people are your favorite people when you disparage them? And he was like, "Well, those ones are good ones. They're not." and it's Do the Right Thing is a careful examination of racism, and I'm not going to spoil the ending. There is a thing that happens, specifically a thing that the Spike Lee character does at the end of the movie that has caused debates among cinephiles.
Oh, and I remember watching that film actually in school, and we had probably about an hour and a half discussion on that point in the film, because that's something that a lot of people have debated over the years.
And we're not going to say what it is, but if you watch it, you'll understand what we're talking about. And if you've seen it, you already understand what we're talking about. When I watched it for the first time, I was at Ben's parents' house, and he showed it to me, and I wasn't sure what to think, because it was kind of a coming into it the first time without ever having just sat and thought it over, just taking it in. I'm like, why the fuck did he do that?
Yeah.
Because to my own mind, it's something that affects the Danny Aiello character, and to my own mind, this dude has done his best to be good to Spike Lee, and sure, his son is a fucking asshole, but that's not his fault. But then the more I see it, the more I've talked to others about it, the more it kind of makes more sense to me over time.
Yeah.
What Spike Lee set out to do is, or at least what I think he set out to do, is kind of make a conversation. He wanted conversations to happen about race, and he wanted his film to kind of inspire such conversations. And I think over the years it has. People who come to it honestly, some people will watch it and dismiss everything in it and just make a position, which I don't think is the right way to approach it.
It's definitely not a film for everyone either, too.
No.
It's a different kind of film, too.
My mom didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an assault on a lot of different senses.
It is.
But definitely, I think that final scene, definitely check it out if you haven't, because it is one of the greatest movies of all time. I mean, that's non-disputable. That is a fact. One of the greatest movies of all time. And definitely, probably the most important movie of the 80s.
Absolutely.
But that final scene between Mookie and Danny Aiello is worth...
After the incident.
Is worth the whole thing to watch. So.
Oh, Danny...
but, yeah, so rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace. And just... Let's just... For 1 second, because we took it all over the map, but Danny Aiello... what can I say it? Say the name, please.
Aiello?
Aiello. Fuck,
what a loving tribute to a dead man.
Rest in peace, Yo-Yo.
Yo, Mellow, Danny Lillo.
No, but seriously, Danny. I'm just going to call him Danny because I'm having trouble with his last name for some reason. Danny was an exceptional actor.
Yeah.
He's... I don't know if I'm not sure if I call him the heart of the movie, although he kind of is, but he's definitely the core of the movie. He's the human MacGuffin around which all of the conflict, kind of, and I don't think it's entirely his fault either. But the way he's just this dude just trying to live his life, and in a way conflict comes to him, and he could have handled it better. But the performance, that would be such a difficult character to play, because it's someone that you would want. I think a less talented actor would have turns either into like a villain straight up or a good guy. He plays him as this human being that we can relate to, and that is what makes Do the Right Thing so effective.
Yeah.
Because he looks like this basically decent guy, but his flaws he has brings about some measure of disaster.
Well, and I think he's like probably the biggest mirror in the film, actually, because I think most people are him.
Yeah.
Whether they like to agree, warts and all, I think most people have those kinds of tendencies, but also have a heart of gold and want to do the right thing as well too.
And I think that's what Spike intended, which is brilliant on his part. He didn't write him as like a bad guy, which would have been easy, like his son is.
Yeah.
But the character Sal himself is I'm kind of rooting for him. Because he's trying to be a good guy, but he's like in some fronts he's failing, and his failings are kind of what brings about this disaster. In some small ways, not all on him, I don't think, because everyone. The other message of the film is I think everybody is culpable for their own behavior.
Yeah.
But the slight miscalculations on everyone's part winds up into this, and that's I feel like now I'm understating what the film is. So I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna say Do the Right Thing, 1989, Another Summer, Sound of the Funky Drummer. You gotta find that. You gotta find that movie. You dig? Sure enough, and that's the truth, Ruth.
Wow, you did that really good. That's how he ends every tweet or any Instagram post I've ever seen him do.
Oh yeah, he's quoting the Samuel L. Jackson character, the DJ.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Well, he's quoting himself because he wrote the script.
Yeah. Well, there's a great Criterion edition of Do the Right Thing, which you got me signed, definite prized possession.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't get when Bamboozled comes out. Don't get it from the Criterion store.
You buy it from him.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's speaking of. Do the Right Thing. I was just telling Jeff today because Criterion, which we've collected now for a few years, they and actually we talked about it on the last podcast, didn't we?
We did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Criterion they preserve film. They release like historically important films, and films that need to be preserved for years to come. They are releasing another Spike Lee film, which is the second one now, because I think Do the Right Thing was the first one. I don't think any of his other films have been released.
I think this is the second one.
But the second one is Bamboozled, which is obviously like his most outwardly satirical and controversial film. Like literally about black minstrel show that's being put
on by black people.
Put on by black people. So black people wearing blackface. And it's a pretty crazy film. It's also also probably the only film that was shot using mini DV, which were like these little tapes that you stuck into camcorders, which is how when we first made film,
that's how we did it back in high school.
Yeah, the first films that we were doing in high school when we were in JAG TV doing our, the journalism TV show at our high school, we had mini DV.
That's what we had at the time. Yeah.
Which so you'd put the tape in, you'd record, and then you'd have to
play it back real time into the computer.
Yeah, play it back real time to convert it to digital, to be able to edit it.
It all seems so convoluted now, and at the time I thought, wow, this is fucking high tech.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like I think about it now, I think how crazy is that? But Bamboozled used mini DV technology, which shows it's definitely a slice of its time, because I think it came out in 2000, 2001, 2002, right around that age.
And back then that was really new.
That was really new back then. And I think they did it in that film because they wanted to get the budget down low enough and they could have like 15 of these cameras set up at once. So it's not like the most... getting a Blu-ray copy of it might defeat the purpose, but I know that they've meticulously restored it and stuff too. So it's a very different looking type of film.
They would have had
a great one.
They would have had to have gotten a film print of it, because I'm sure it was printed onto like film.
Oh yeah.
But if they tried to get like off the original, those things would be dead by now.
Oh.
Mini DV. The thing about mini DV I remember is they were good for a very short time, and if you weren't lucky, if you didn't get shit converted as fast as you could, the footage would disintegrate within a year or two.
Yeah, they definitely had a place for a few years there.
They're kind of shitty technology, frankly, but
Yeah.
but
Well, digital changed a lot of things.
it did.
Yeah.
It did. But the thing I remember, it's in my film, The Truth of the Heart. There's a scene where you're coming into Ben's in it, by the way. When you're coming into yeah, don't you remember? When you're coming into the gym with Story Sylvester, and like to dance or whatever, you can tell that the tape that I got that off of was starting to degrade because the sound is so and like the concept of ADR didn't like occur to me back then.
Well, I think that was one thing that really took the big hit when it came to that technology is audio. Kind of like definitely there was a lot of issues.
Yeah,
I mean there was a lot of times because we shot with Mini DV. I remember we'd go out and shoot baseball, softball, basketball, volleyball, and we were all shooting on Mini DV. In fact, my film, I remember this might have been on another podcast already, but whatever, I don't even remember. But
it's like 30 hours of content.
I remember so Jeff did his film Truth of the Heart, which I was in, kind of inspired me to want to do my own senior project film movie, which I did one called The Lampshade Man, which then in turn also starred Jeff. So we kind of like mixed and matched there.
I forgot.
In the most pivotal role of the movie, Jogger Man. But no, really the most pivotal role in the movie. But,
just stop for a second. I can believe that some dude in a lampshaded hat is killing people. I can believe that like Dylan and Grace Garcia are a dysfunctional couple, and I can believe you're this like weird next door neighbor thing, but I cannot believe that I'm a jogger.
I never really thought about that. I just like I needed this role and you fit.
He's perfect.
He's perfect. I need a jogger. Someone get me Jeff Crenshaw.
You've made the right choice, sir. I won't let you down.
But I remember shooting this. There's this opening scene where a guy gets up to take a shower, and then the lamp kills him. It's a guy with a lamp on his head. Is he man? Is he lamp? Who knows? And I shot like this whole first scene, and I came back to export it, and I noticed it was shot in like square, standard format, and I wanted it widescreen because I prefer widescreen. And I remember because I'd used Mini DV at that time, and then I think the tape I used for the first one was Mini DV, and then I think we actually, for my senior year, we actually ended up having digital for the rest of the film. But that Mini DV that I shot it with for the first one, shot it at standard. I remember going up to my teacher, Mr. Allen, I'm like, oh no, this shot in standard. Do we have one that I can shoot in widescreen? I want a widescreen. He did this thing where he like turned around to like the whole class. Look, it's Ben. He thinks he's making Lawrence of Arabia. Which is funny now. But
what a nurturing teacher.
Yeah. Shit on my face, why don't you?
Hey everyone, he thinks he's making Lawrence of Arabia.
Hey, and you know what? Damn well I was making Lawrence of Arabia.
Everything should aspire to greatness, even if you don't make it.
I learned a lot on that film. There was a lot of cast members. It was hard to wrangle high school students to want to film. Not a lot of camera movement, but I did watch it the other day. Because you had you had the file on one of your drives, and I had kind of lost my DVD, but I watched it, and it was fun to watch that again. It really does flow. It really makes sense, like all of it, and I'm pretty proud of that.
I enjoyed it. I don't necessarily have like the same opinion of my own senior film Like sometimes I'll watch it like I love this, and sometimes I'll watch it like Jesus Christ, I can't believe I did this.
But I remember when you showed your senior film, I went with my mom, and we made like a whole thing of it, and you had a full room, and everyone was laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, that was
And I
fun.
think like at the end of the day, and that's kind of what I've always been for, is like each film that we do, we're only gonna ever only see the flaws in our work, anyways.
Yeah.
But getting some kind of a reaction out of people is something that I always enjoy, and to this day, one of the best memories I ever had is we had kind of figured out early, kind of between you and I, that I think people really wanted to see Lampshade Man, and, and the other thing is that when you do a film in a high school setting,
Yeah.
it's your own little like
It's like an insular
sandbox.
world.
Yeah, and it's its own little world. And so I had a film that had some popular people in it, like that were popular in school, and people knew me, and I was on JAG TV. So I think like we kind of realized quickly that there was going to be a few people that were going to watch us, and we did like 2 showings, and we packed the room both times. And I remember just thinking how cool that was that we crammed all these people into this really small room to watch the film, and they all seemed to enjoy it quite a bit. So,
And that may have had something to do with like the crowd. I only had one showing because other people were doing showings.
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit in my year, but like no one else was doing films that I remember your year.
yeah.
But that may have helped because you were pretty popular in high school, and Tally was too.
Thank you.
And like you and Tally on the poster probably helped a little bit. And I remember
Tally was really popular. Yeah, all the girls loved Tally.
The thing about Tally, kind of like you seems. I don't think you realized how like popular you were.
Yeah, well, that's it's your own little.
Yeah.
Your own little world, and you don't really like realize a lot of shit. And then when you like get older, you're like, oh, huh.
You were Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Ben the Wallflower.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but I never really considered it like that. I kind of just was friends with absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you think about it too, like people watch JAG TV every day, and we were on JAG TV constantly on people's televisions as well too. So
Apparently,
you have people come up all the time to you, and they're like, Jeff Crenshaw, and you're like, I don't know you.
no, I don't say that.
No, you don't say that,
but so like it doesn't happen all the time. But every so often, someone will come up. Hey, I went to Century with you, and I'll be like, oh yeah, good to see you. It's okay. It's kind of a white lie. Maybe I'm a piece of shit, but I don't. The last thing I want to do.
I didn't mean to corner you here.
The last thing I want to do is like make someone feel bad.
Yeah.
Like take the time to say hi, and I'm always. There's a chance that someone I know will do that, and I want people to feel free to do that, come say hi or whatever. But when I don't know them, it's like it's a little awkward. It's like, oh yeah, hi. But I just play along with it. But even if I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that was.
I mean, you were voted most likely to brighten your day, so
I still have that shirt.
Some people, I think they gave me a shirt for mine, but I don't remember. I don't think I have it.
I have it. There's no way it can fit me now. It was tight back then.
Yeah.
But and it's funny, like it was like a printed. It was like black on a white patch, and like the lettering is faded off, so it's just this white, like tacky looking patch on a blue T-shirt now. And like someone looking at it, why does he have this shitty T-shirt? But yeah, it's.
It felt cool.
It was cool.
I remember I loved it when you were voted most likely to brighten your day. Because that's what you do. You bring brightness to the masses, Jeff.
I tried.
Are we going to start fucking? Is that what's going to happen right now?
I had
Time of my life. You're getting close.
I really can't.
That's my
stay.
nipple. Well, it's a Christmas
I
episode.
got to go.
This is a
away.
Christmas episode. We got to start talking about something Christmas
This
related.
evening has been so very nice.
Say what is the flashlight in my bum?
My sister will be suspicious. My brother will be there at the door.
Not a fan of that song. I really not.
A lot of people like applied meaning to it that it never had.
I don't, and it's not even that. That has nothing to do. I just don't really care for that song.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole the duet of talking over each other. The two different melodies at once. That always bothers me.
I like the song, but not all versions are equal. My favorite version is the Tom Jones version, and I forget the name of the chick. But God, Tom Jones. Well, baby, it's cold outside. You gotta fucking love Tom Jones.
I like his version of "You Can Leave Your Hat On."
I loved.
That's a good song.
It's apparently there's like a new like John Legend version of "Baby It's Cold Outside" that kind of responds to the altered meaning of the song.
Oh.
It's like, it's your body and your choice. It's like, God, John Legend.
Okay.
John Legend, you're kind of a tepid piece of shit.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I think he's pretty talented, but
He
it's
is,
a little.
but
It's a little pandering.
It's pandering as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
He is talented. I don't know, for some reason he bugs me.
I was gonna say though, we've been seeing a lot of movies lately now, and we always see this commercial for some. That's a thing now. I've realized that when we go to see movies, it's not just movie trailers anymore. Like there used to always be like the 20 or whatever first look or something where they'd play a little something like before the time that your movie's supposed to start, and then when say if your movie's starting at 5, then they'll play 5 or 6 trailers, and then like, hey, go drink a Coke and get popcorn from the lobby, or a roller coaster, and then the movie. Now they have like straight up fucking commercials.
Cut between the trailers.
Cut between the trailers. Like
that bugs me. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either, actually. But they keep on showing, and always twice now, the Sprite spiced cranberry commercial.
Oh, it's like LeBron James and this. I actually really.
Sprite cranberry.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Well, yeah, it's like a stop motion. It actually is kind of.
I love the commercial. The frustrating thing though is I've seen this ad a million times. It's practically shoved down my throat every single time I go to the movies, and lately that's been a lot.
Yeah.
And Ben and I have gone to the stores. Like between us, we've probably gone to like 10 stores looking for this goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening every time is they won't have it, except once, but we'll get to that later. And it's never in stock.
No.
The cinnamon Coke is always there in abundance.
Oh,
but
bullshit.
I've had an abundance of cinnamon cola. I want the fucking Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry.
Hey, cinnamon cola is not even that good. Bring on the cranberry.
Bring on the goddamn cranberry.
But so we were like trying to figure it out. I said, hey, I think it's on Amazon, but it was kind of expensive on Amazon. And so I was like, I'm going to just check eBay. What the heck? And I saw it on there, and they had like this. They were showing cases of this cranberry, this winter. Let me reiterate: winter spiced cranberry Sprite.
Yes,
because I've actually had cranberry Sprite, not that great, but the winter spiced, who knows? Maybe it could be good.
It could be good.
And so it was like going to be like $8 altogether or something, including shipping. And I thought, wow, that sounds good. Let's just split it.
It was $9, and you said. I remember exactly. I was sitting in that precarious recliner, and
Oh, the one that you've fallen over in before?
that's the story for another time.
Okay.
and you were like flipping through your phone, and I'm like, Ben, are you looking for the cranberry Sprite? I was like, yes, Jeff, I must have it. And like you found it. No, Jeff, there's a package of cranberry Sprite on here for $9. If you send me half of that, $4.50 to me, you and I can split the package of cranberry Sprite, and then you take it from here.
Yeah, we were like, oh, that's a win-win. Let's do that. Yeah. So we buy it. And
we're anticipating like a 6-pack, 12-pack.
Yeah, we're so stoked to get it. And I usually, all my mailbox is away from my house. It's one of those community mailboxes. But usually things are dropped on my porch. But not if they're bigger. I figured that was going to happen. And so I got the notification the package was delivered and nothing was on my porch. So here I spent like half the day thinking, good Lord, someone must have stolen it. Dang it, I wanted the Winter Spice Cranberry. Someone stole it.
He told me that he thought someone stole it, and I was kind of heartbroken myself.
Yeah, I was very heartbroken, but once goes a broken heart, in goes the knife to twist more. In that it actually was not stolen. When I went to go get the other mail, I found a package that looked like one singular can in there, to which I think I must not have noticed that it was for a singular can. Although when I went back to the listing...
One can. was the package of Winter Spice Cranberry. He ordered a package of this stuff, and he got one can.
Yeah, and in that listing, it did not say one single can, and all the pictures were of cases. Like it was misleading, but anyway. So I put it in the fridge. I called my friend over so we could have our ceremonial sip back and forth. Pass the duchy, if you will. Sip, pass, kind of a thing.
Sip, pass,
and
pass.
So we each took our sips, and absolutely delightful.
It was great.
It
it's
was
like
really good.
It wasn't. It wasn't heavy on the cran. You may have said they skimmed on the cran a bit, but it was. It was Sprite with like an undertone, delicious cranberry flavor, and it didn't necessarily taste exactly like cranberry, but there was like a vaguely fruity, kind of wintry, like good flavor, and it was.
And it did have that, and it's not cinnamon. It's that spiced kind of flavor.
Yeah,
kind of a spiced, kind of fruity flavor. And it tasted really good, really refreshing, way better than the original cranberry Sprite that I had before.
And this was a very subtle flavor. It kind of came in under the Sprite a little bit, but it was there.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we definitely shared it. We enjoyed it. We had a good laugh. And then the funny thing is, like, Jeff took 3 steps out the door over to, like, our community little mart that's literally, like, just a few steps away from our house.
This is like a couple days later.
We go there all the time, and they literally had a 2-liter of the winter spiced cranberry.
And I was like, "Hey Ben, should I bring it over?" He's like, "I'm sick today." And it's like, "Oh, okay." So I open it and I have a glass. "Hey, should I bring it?" "Oh, I'm still feeling a crummy." And by the time he started feeling better, it was like he still wasn't down to hang. So I'm like, I don't know how long this lasts. Just drink it, Jeff.
Yeah. It was no hard feelings, but I did think that was funny that we looked all over, and the closest store to us is the one that had it.
And that was the only 2-liter they had in the whole store.
Yeah.
And I've gone back and looked. I don't think any store's going to order it at this point because we're so close to Christmas. Right now it's December 15th.
Yeah.
And
for how many commercials I see of it, I can't find that stuff anywhere. And apparently we're not the only ones, though, because I've looked online. A lot of people have talked about that. And I mean, I don't know. That's so weird. Like, what's the point in doing a winter spice cranberry if halfway through winter you can't hardly stock it at any of the stores?
The thing that bothers me is that these goddamn ads I've seen for this winter spice cranberry bullshit from Coke have been like ubiquitous. I've seen them in the theaters. I think I've seen some online. Winter spice cranberry, and like winter spice cranberry. It's the most enticing goddamn commercial I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and if I walk out, I practically walk out the house and I get my ass smacked in the face by LeBron James himself saying, "Do you want a winter spice cranberry?" I'm like, "Sure," and he's like, "I don't have one." So it's like
they're nowhere in stores.
Yeah.
Like I've only found one 2-liter bottle, and one of my buddies, I worked with her at Kmart. She like the day that Ben and I got the can of cranberry, I sent her the picture. My friend and I paid $9 for this, and then like she told me that she was looking for. She told me she was looking for that in stores, but could never find one. And then the next day, I found, like a few days later, I don't know how long, I found the big 2-liter, and I sent her a picture of it, and she's like, "What the fuck? I hate you."
So we have a fix for you. If you are interested in trying the winter spice cranberry, just poo-poo the search for the glorious nectar of the gods that is winter spice cranberry, and just get yourself some cranberry juice. Ocean Spray. What's the one you get? Tropicana sometimes.
Yeah.
Get a nice Sprite and make yourself a nice punch. A nice.
It's not the same thing though. It's good.
Definitely not the same thing, but it is definitely really good. And it's something my mom's always made for Christmas Day. Actually, she always gets cranberry juice and Sprite or Sierra Mist or.
I won't lie.
Well,
lately, I think I've single-handedly, and I'm not exaggerating here, I literally think I've single-handedly bought out the entire stock of cranberry juice at the mini mart.
Yeah, I've bought out their stock on iced teas before too.
Yeah,
I think we both have actually.
I haven't done that, but I buy the most iced tea of any single customer from that store. I haven't bought the entire thing, but I'll go in and I'll buy 12 cans of Arizona, and I remember, and I'll do that frequently, and like they started having baskets in the store. And oh, did you get that for me? He's like, oh yeah, they got these for you because you always buy.
That's so funny because like we both had that same experience for two different things. Like, so they got passed. Probably not exactly for you, but for people like you, probably.
They told me that I was the inspiration.
They told me I was inspiration for something else too.
Really?
Yeah. Because this is, and I at this time I was like really obsessed with the Snapple tea, like the Diet Peach or the lemon or the mango.
We used to drink those a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean I still love them, but I just don't get them very often anymore. But I used to go in and just grab a crap ton of those, and the guy told me, "Hey, you like iced tea? I got the Gold Peak, like fountain Gold Peak iced tea, and you can get like a big thing for really cheap." And so he like told me that, and Gold Peak tea is okay. It's not my Arizona or my
We used to sell those at
Snapple.
Domino's.
And I remember like feeling obligated a few times that I went in there because I felt bad that he said he got that for me because I like iced tea to like get it. And then after a few times, I'm like, nah, I really would rather have
Arizona, yeah. Honestly, I love regular iced tea too, like just regular brewed, non-sweetened.
Oh yeah.
But Arizona is Arizona, and it is what it is.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. The I was at grocery outlet yesterday, and I love grocery outlet. I've discovered it's where all the overstock goes to die from other stores.
Yeah,
so you
great.
can find a bunch of random shit in grocery outlet.
Killer prices.
They tend to have pretty good prices there. Like I bought like a box of I think like 50 chicken wings yesterday. I haven't baked them yet or anything. They're just in my house in a freezer. But I saw that they had Arizona sparkling waters, and I saw them there, and I went up and I ended up going nah. But they had like.
Were they in a can or a?
They were canned, but they came in like the boxes. They're like,
oh wow!
And the one was like, I forget exactly. One was like blood orange something, and the other was pineapple something else.
Wow!
And I ended up like opting against it, but for a brief second, I was like, ooh, maybe, and then, nah, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they're stepping into that realm because that's like the most booming thing in drink right now.
It started with LaCroix, and now people are obsessed with White Claw.
I mean, maybe like the big boom started with LaCroix, but I remember people drinking Perrier and like Talking Rain way before that. Like,
but did they have like the flavors, or was it just like the sparkling?
Talking Rain had flavors. Perrier, I don't think Perrier was just always the green bottle and stuff, but I love Perrier a lot. But
what I really like is that it's just like called ice. I think it's like a Safeway brand maybe. They're in the tall clear bottles. They've had it at your grandma's house.
yeah, that shit is fucking good. That's another I don't consider that the same thing.
It's pretty much soda basically.
Right, but it is sugar free. Actually, and it's not Safeway brand because I think we've got it at Costco before.
They had that at grocery outlet too, but I thought it might be Safeway overstock.
Yeah, those are good. I love the there's like a tangerine mango one of that. That's really good.
I like the blackberry. I think there's like a green apple one too that I like.
Oh wow,
There.
that is good.
On the previous podcast, this kind of reminds me. We were talking about our favorite like sodas, and like you could find it. It's probably called Soda or the podcast or some shit like that. Anyway, you were talking about how your favorite soda that you can never find is the Jones Soda Foo Berry.
Oh yeah.
The funny thing is, like a few months ago, Ben and I, we don't go all the time, but fairly often we go to the Hollywood Theater to see movies, and beforehand we go to the Sizzle Pie next door.
Yeah, get some za. It's easy.
And I noticed they have Fufu Berry on the fountain, the soda
tap,
fountain
yeah,
on tap.
I know.
And I remember I was like, "Bad, get over here!"
Yeah.
And like, Jeff, I'm paying the cashier. Bad, and like your eyes went so wide when you saw the Fufu Berry on
Yeah,
tap.
I definitely over foo-fooed myself that day because I
Overdose. Right
I
there.
really don't drink a lot of soda hardly anymore now. I'm trying to do good and
Cut back and stuff.
cut back. But I mean, that's like an exception that I had to take, and I think I probably had 3 glasses of it. But also, it is very sweet. It is very sweet. So like at about like 2.5 glasses, I was like, okay, I think I'm done now. But I love Fufu Berry because Fufu Berry like reminds me specifically of like
The time in your life.
yeah, the mornings when I was like going to high school, like a lot of times I would like bypass riding the bus and seeing if I could like hitch a ride with my mom on her way to work or something. And a lot of times she would be going to work earlier than, school would start. So I'd have her like drop me off at the Fred Meyer or the little thing over near Century.
Yeah.
And I'd grab a drink and I would often get like a Fufu Berry or something.
I remember you being
like.
obsessed with bowls.
Yeah, I Balls was a favorite drink as well too.
I
You don't
think-
really see those anymore.
No, they're kind of. You might see the bowls have dried up.
Yeah, and I also remember that was one time I got in trouble in class. I had this Spanish teacher by the name of Mr. Buck, and he was like a first-year teacher. No one liked him, and he was a total rule master, total weirdo. I don't know, he just didn't know what he was doing. But I remember there were some unruly kids in the class.
Oh, yeah.
I was not actually one of them. I was a class clown, but
You were on the line of unruly, but not.
yeah, but of course I always like sat like over near them, so guilty by association. I mean, how many times were like you're like someone's talking at you in a class, and then you're the one that gets in trouble.
Yeah,
for,
that happens. Yeah.
I think we did that a few times in college, but
Oh, God.
I remember I had said something that ticked him off, and he wanted me to leave the class because he thought I was disrupting the class. And I asked if I could take my balls with me, but I didn't just say it. I held it up and clearly was like, "Can I take my balls with me?" Like handed across the classroom, and he didn't find that funny. So
Of course not.
He made me go outside for a few minutes so he could have a talking with.
Senor, you want a spanking, senor?
Jeff,
Yes, Ben?
since this is our Christmas episode,
Uh-huh.
I would like to know, what is your Christmas wish for 2020?
To figure out how to get ahead in life, to figure out how to get what I want, just to figure everything out, because nothing makes sense anymore. What's your Christmas wish?
Well, I don't know how to follow that. That's pretty good.
Is it the same?
I think most people could probably say the same thing.
And nothing makes sense these days. I used to be the kind of guy, oh, everything happens for a reason. Now I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I had this like feeling the other day. I was on Instagram, and I had that first inkling that I'm old. And it was your sister's post.
Samantha.
There's some obsession about lurking. Doesn't really need to. I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter.
I'm lurking.
Yeah.
We're lurking.
Yeah,
Group
we're-
lurking.
Yeah, a lot of lurkers. I don't know.
I don't know if it's your generation or just your specific group of friends, but I didn't get it.
I didn't get it at all. But that wasn't like the only thing. There was a few other things that I've seen recently with kids that are like in high school now. And I'm thinking, I don't understand what this means. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm turning into my parents when they like look at their phone and don't know how to like turn off the ringer when they're in a movie theater, or like when they get a phone call in the middle of the movie theater and don't realize that it's their ringtone that they just set on their phone.
How rude of them! It's
But
you.
my Christmas wish is I hope that we can have some changes when it comes to the political regime in our country. But I
That would
also
go a long way to helping things make sense again.
yeah, I think you're right. I also would like to continue losing weight, and hopefully I can get my back issues under control.
You and I got to start walking.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep walking, because you know what? These boots are made for walking.
And that's just what they'll do.
This has been Rock and Roll Specialists
I'm Jeff Crenshaw.
and Ben Eastman.
It's the holiday season.
Boop de boop.
And dickory dock. And don't forget to hang up the sock. Cause just exactly at 12 o'clock, he'll be coming down the chimney down.
Thank you.